boys. Oh, boink, boink. Broke it last night. Still made money, but it's broken. I gotta take it apart and fix it because it's broke. Won't go into gear unless you pull it up. It's broke.
On the show, on the Chad King and YouTube's channel. Left the house a few minutes ago, rolling up here. I'm going to stop in a point, grab a splash, that way I can at least top off and not have to worry about anything else. And it was 98 miles from the house to Sandusky. It's actually farther, it's almost farther for me to go get this stuff than what it is to run it, but that's okay because it's paying really well. I should be, I'm going to plop 50 in, that's all I really need to do this run because of how much fuel I still have. Then after that, I'm going to call the guy and let him know I'm on my way. I should be there a little after midnight, so hopefully something's ready for me to go because my bill said between midnight and 2 a.m. So hopefully I don't get over there and have to sit for 2 hours, but if I do, it would be the first time, and I'm guarantee it probably won't be the last, but that's trucking. Going to pull in here, grab a splash, clean my windows real quick, and then peel out and boogie on down the road here. I'm running 6 over to 6 up to Sandusky, and then after that it's something in 60 to Mansfield, so it shouldn't really be that bad. These are both trailers with like 17.5 tires on them, so you can't go over 65 with them, but I'm not going to be on the interstate or anything like that. I mean, honestly, the most I would probably do is 60. So, and if I was running them on the interstate, there's no way in hell I'd pull that shit over 65. I don't need to be blowing no tires, if you know what I mean. Especially with single axle stuff. Interested to see what this container's like. I think he said it's like a 40-foot container with a generator in it. So we'll see what happens when we get there. Check the stuff out. Well, I'm at the pilot here, and I just got a splash of fuel. When I was pulling in, I thought something felt weird when I was coming up off 24. And the spring and everything come loose from this. When I pulled in, I noticed it. Now I can go forward and backwards and get it into gear, but there ain't no side to side nothing, so there's no way I'd be able to shift this thing from first. I could go to second, but I couldn't go over to third, you know what I mean, because it's just slammed around. So I as soon as I pulled up, let's get out real quick and I'll go under the truck. As soon as I pulled up, I was looking and I'm like, man, is there something broke or what was going on? And there's a spring back down in there. So I'm going to slide up in here. Here's my hand back there. See that spring? That spring needs to be up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach my hand back there. I'm going to feel around. I got a hose clamp that's right here. I'm hoping will be the right size. Sorry if I shine that in your eyes. Hoping that that'll be the right size to but throw that up there. That way that'll hold that spring up, because there's a metal thing that's under it that came down. I could feel with my hand before I grabbed fuel, and I just grabbed fuel and I was like, fuck it. Thinking about what am I going to do? I'll throw a hose clamp on there. As long as I get my gun in there to shoot it or tighten it up, or I'll stick a small screwdriver in if I have to, do what I got to do. So I'm got to call this guy and let him know I got on my way too. Hopefully I'll be sooner than later, if you know what I mean. Hopefully this will be a quick fix to get us moving. Well, I'm moving again. There's a ball down there, and it popped out of the socket that's at the bottom of that thing. So the spring and everything was okay, because I noticed when I was in there messing around with it, trying to get a hose clamp around there, that it would go up and down and that ball was out of the socket. This road's just fucking pathetic. It pisses me off. I don't know why they don't fix this. Instead, they throw a bunch of cube like this on there. That way you slam around and shit. I hate this worst section of 24 right in Napoleon, and it's been here the longest. You'd think they'd repaved it when they rebuilt all this stuff. Anyways, I noticed that I could lift that up and it would go in there and the spring was fine. So what I did was I jumped in the truck and I pulled up on the shifter, and it was okay. I could move it back and forth and be able to shift it. So basically, got back down there real quick, looked around, moved the thing around with my hand and made sure that it would go back up in there. And I was trying to see if there was something that held it and maybe broke free. I wasn't sure. This is the first time this has ever done that. Maybe there's a gasket or something down there that's not working properly, or something else happened that I don't know. But it was kind of shifting stiff when I first took off today, and it's been kind of iffy here and there, and it's not like it needs lube because there's plenty of lube in there. Everybody knows I grease the shit religiously, but it seems to be okay right now. I mean, I'm gonna know if it pops out of gear, but it's moving fine and it's doing what I need it to do. So just gonna run it, and then I'll mess with it maybe tomorrow when I get home, or if something happens later on today, I'll figure it out. But I should be able to. I don't know if it's zip tie, because zip ties ain't gonna hold that thing up there the way I need it to. I need something stronger than that, so I'll figure it out though when I need to. But at least I'm moving, and that's what matters. So called the guy, let him know it's gonna be a little bit later than what I'd planned, but it's all good. That's trucking, man. You just one day at a time, 1 mile at a time, do what you gotta do, and just keep on moving forward. That's all you can do. Well, I'm sitting here in Lexington, Ohio. It's south of Ontario, I believe. My freaking seat cushion's messed up. Let me get these glasses on real fast, because it is starting to be bright out since the sun came out. And then we'll do a quick one outside, and then we'll talk about what's going on with the shifter, because I did deal with it last night, some issues, but I made it work. It's still working. So climb out here, pull this over here. It's got a little, well, I don't know if it's little or not, but it's either like a 60 series Detroit that's in there and a generator in the back, or it's a one of the V models. I'm not sure, but leaking like a sieve under it, not my problem. I just bringing it over here, you know, in a trailer and stuff. Super light, maybe 15,000 if that, no big deal. And then there's that Lupo plane down there that I pulled and brought over. And when I first got there, they were like, yeah, you're not gonna be able to pull this. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll be able to pull this, no problem. I said, my fifth wheel slide all the way back. It's right there. I said, worst case scenario, I gotta pull my mud flaps, no big deal. It's not like I haven't done this first time. And I can't stand when someone argues with me and tells me what I can and can't do with my truck. And I said, look, dude, I pulled a Bud Light City beer wagon from Toledo down south, and those things are like single axle trucks. So I said, I can do it. Took the mud flaps off, they jacked it up, and because it was low to the ground. It's got a weird landing gear, but it's that one center pull and that's it. And I'm sure you probably can't see it from here because of the sun, but it's kind of strange. And I'll just put some pictures up, that way you can see them at the end. This guy right here, whenever it's not in gear, it falls down. But if it's like it's super loose and not in there, because there's that ball that goes into a cup, and I believe there's probably something on the top that would hold this whole stick in place. Like I can pull it up like that, and now it's back where it needs to be, but it just falls back down. But once I stick it into gear, it's fine, and I can do what I need to do and drive. It's just pulling it out of gear and stuff like that, to where sometimes there's some issues. So let's get you pointed at the ground here. My leg, the shifter. That way I can drive around the lot, because I'm getting ready to peel out and take off and go home. Took the pictures I need to, sent it up to the broker, sent them to my factoring company. Text my wife here in a minute that I'm on my way, and then I'm out. Should be home around 9:30. It is 7:19 now. I got there around little at 12:45 and didn't leave until 1 because I ended up following the guy that owns all this stuff around over here because he dropped a couple rides and another guy followed him. And it was crazy because we're going through Norwalk. Neither of those got trailer lights whatsoever, and they're in like dually pickups pulling the stuff. And I had lights on mine, so fortunately I was in the back. Norwalk, a cop spins around, comes back town cop after me, and then we turn off, he goes straight. We come back on another road to get back on 250 because it loops around and then you can go straight through town. It's a truck route. He is at the light when we turn, and luckily we got out of there. But yeah, let's pull this up, get it up, and it's gonna grind to go into gear. That's what it likes to do, because it's just how it is. And now it's in and it's fine. So let me get these off real quick because we don't need them. But yeah, and now we're good. And that thing is fine. It's not gonna plop down unless I don't, I kind of have to lift up on the ball and do it, but it's still super light. It's not like it's hard or anything. It's just me lifting up on the ball to make sure it stays in there. And there's a little bit of rattle under there, which ain't a big deal. You know, it hasn't fallen out of gear while I'm driving. If I get it into gear, it's fine. It's not gonna fall out. It's when I take it out of gear is when it just plops down because it just doesn't have something holding it up there. And I'm thinking what happened was there's probably some kind of metal situation that would hold that up to where it couldn't fall down, like some kind of clip maybe, or something of that nature. And from the salt, you know, the grit, the sand, and the roads being rough, anywhere I go on the interstate, local through towns, it's probably just beating that thing up so long that it broke free. So it's broke free. When I get home, I seen 3 bolts that I could take, and I could lift that whole thing off of that plate that's there. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna take it off when I get home. Well, I'm gonna go to sleep first, but when I wake up today, I'm gonna take it off and I'm going to fab it up to where I can fix it. I'm gonna really see what the problem is. So that's what we'll see what's going on. Just got to kind of lift it up and shove it into gear and it's fine. But if I left it go and took my hand off it, now if I push the clutch in, it doesn't go anywhere. It's just if I'm sitting somewhere without the clutch, it'll drop down. So I don't know what the deal is, but I'll figure it out. It's like it's holding it because it's in gear since the linkage and stuff is up. I don't know, but I mean, it's what it is. I delivered the loads. That's all that matters. I made my money. I didn't have to cancel them. I didn't have to shut down. I didn't have to go back home. I was kind of worried about it, but once I realized that, you know, it was just that cup and plopping out of there, help find the gear. That's what it was. But they'll probably fix that spring too, because that has never been on where it needed to be. When I was lifting that up, that's when I realized it. So just another thing to do, a day in the life of. Still getting the job done though. Go home and fix it. I'll get your eyes on it so you can see, and that'll be that. So hey folks, Monday morning here. Let's get into it real quick. Got table set up with some shit because I need to get this taken care of. I do believe I figured out what the problem is. I think there's a ball that's right up in here that I've got it held up by a vice grip, and I've got a screwdriver sitting there holding it where I do believe it needs to be in place. And then back in here, let me maneuver you back in here if I can. Get in here. Sorry. There is a ball right here. Let me get the light that way. Let me show you. There's a ball right there that sits in that, and I believe at the bottom of that, I don't know because I've never seen a diagram of this. I can't find anything online, but there's a ball on that, and at the bottom there's a little bit of a hole, if you will, and I believe that over time that has worn out, and that's that ball would sit in maybe a spot, and that has worn out over time, so we don't have that anymore. And what we got going on is a big old mess because that is falling down through, so that's what's going on. I do believe, I think I can. I'm gonna run to Menards and I'm gonna see if I can get me some little brackets too, because that rubber gasket goes down on top of that. And sorry, this is shitty. The rubber gasket pushes down on top of that ball, and that's what holds that grease and stuff in there. That's a dust cover for that. That way it doesn't get a bunch of shit in there. And I believe I can go get like something and put a hose clamp on top of that to keep that from falling down. Now my problem is it's going to rub up against that crap. So I'm probably going to have somewhat of a problem. So I'm going to try to find maybe like one of those little L-shaped brackets that I can use to, when I hose clamp it, to hold it there, but that can still move back and forth on top of that rubber. I'm not sure how long that's gonna work, or how long that's even gonna last. But I mean, I'm pretty much up against the wall here with this, because I'm not sure what to do about it, and it's kindly something that needs to be addressed. I don't know anywhere where I can get one of those. They don't make that stuff anymore. It's not like you can just call up the dealership and say, hey, I need this, blah blah blah, because that's just not something that happens. There is one online at Vanderhaeg's, who knows where, I think in Minnesota or something like that, but I don't necessarily want to sit around waiting for that long. I don't know if I could take that apart and have something welded in there on that bottom to keep it. I mean, if you took a washer and welded it on there, you'd think it'd hold it in that place, but I don't know if that's cast or what, or how that would work. So I'm just going to try to fix it real quick like this and see if that'll work, because I can't necessarily, the way this goes down in right here, I can take this off and show you real quick, because I can just put it back up like I had it. I had to take all my foam and stuff off, so I'll have to redo this. And I couldn't twist it too far because my airline's still hooked up, and so is this. But right in here is where that ball sits, and there's really nothing that you could put in there to keep it from going down either. So I don't know. I'm gonna go to the store and see if I can't figure something out to where I can fix that and continue to run and work, and then maybe start looking for a new one while I'm running and stuff like that. That way, if I can find something, I'll you know, figure it out. Sorry, I looked on my phone real quick and get some emails. So that's what's up. That's what's going on today, right now, Monday morning. Gonna get this taken care of here, and I'll bring you back once I figure something out and show you what I did, at least. That way, if you ever run into that problem, you can fix it too, if this will work. I don't know, it's crapshoot, folks. Well, I end up pulling the shaft out where the bottom ball goes through and stuff like that, because it was 4 bolts, and it was probably the easiest thing for me to do. I was talking with James Pretty, and he said that that was supposed to be closed, I believe. And he said that he ended up ordering parts that he didn't use, and then he just ended up closing that off. So you can kind of see some wear marks where that ball was. Apparently, I believe there was a bushing in there too. I don't know. I may be able to run to the store and grab like a brass bushing to stick up in there, and then if I need to take this to the weld shop, I will. There's a guy that did the shifter, the clutch linkage for Frank back in the day when I had snapped it, and he was able to take care of that, so I'll give him a call. But I also called a place that I had got the cab latch for this truck at, that was over in West Unity, Ohio. They used to have a Cabover sitting out there. It was cut off at the back. There was no engine, no nothing, so I ended up going out and getting the cab latch and taking some hydraulic lines, which I didn't realize you could get those made simple, easy. And I got that because the original one was broken. They had just had a greaser tip on it because the stuff must have been worn out, so you'd have to pump grease in there to get that to come down to unlock the cab to get it up. So then I had bought that. But yeah, I've got this all taken apart in here. Let me get the light real quick and I'll show you. It was pretty simple. It was just a bolt right there, a bolt right there, and then that whole thing slid out, and there's that bolt that's sitting down there. And I don't see anything that would even have come out of there. So there's that rubber bushing that goes on top of it. And I didn't need to take the whole thing apart, which was nice. I just took those sections off. So yeah, that ball still seems like it's okay. I don't know. I'm going to clean that up and get my eyes on a little bit better. I don't even know what you can see here. If you can see in there, right there, that's better to see that. You know, that looks like it's okay. It was just dropped down and wearing through, and that's why there was slop up there, because that spring wasn't necessarily holding it up. So how much to have them fill, I don't know. It's a crapshoot, I guess. So we'll see what's going on. I'll see if I got any bushings that'll fit around that ball. It's in the garage already, and then we'll go from there. I'll get back with you when I know what's going on. Once I call that guy back, he said that that cab, they had cleaned out the yard a few years ago, so he wasn't sure if that cab was still back there or not. He'd have to take a look. So I'm going to give him a call here in about an hour and see if that's over there, because if that's the case, I'll just go over and I'll just snag that off the truck. And I can't remember if that stuff was still on there or not, but if it is, I'll just go steal that and, well, buy it, obviously. I'll snatch that off the truck, and then I'll throw a new one on pretty much, and then I'll have that for backup plan, if you know what I mean. Well, I'm back, and little Miss Muffet took a trip earlier because I had a couple leads on a few of these, and I ended up getting one from Central Truck Parts. Told him what I needed. Guy took me back on a golf cart and showed me Cabover, and I looked and I said, yeah, that's what I needed. And he had a bunch of stuff, but he wasn't really interested in letting me look around or anything like that. And he said he was getting ready to scrap all of them, and I thought, dude, that's insane. Let me come out here and pull some parts, and I'll tell you what you can sell and who needs what and what people can't find, blah blah blah, things like that. But he really wasn't too interested in letting me nose around. But so when I was at Central and I seen that, and he went and took it off for me, and I waited up the front, and he brought it back, and then I realized he had cut that little gasket off back there because it was whole, and I didn't get to get up in there and see if there was a hole or not. But that one has a hole too. So I found this little piece in the garage here. It's like a L shape, and then there's an opening like this, and it's curved and it's rounded on the bottom. So that and I put 2 hose clamps on it, and that seems to be fine. It's got enough it's holding the ball up high enough, which is good, and it's about perfect for the shifter to move back and forth, you know. So I think it'll be okay. I'm getting ready to mount this plate really quick. I'm not going to put my stuff on until afterwards. I can't even find the foam that I'd used the first time, so I'll probably end up using other foam, my old foam. But I'm going to put everything back together, move the truck around, see if put it in gear, this and that, before I do this. So I'll have to drop the cab, put the cab back up, and then bada bling, bada boom. So I mean, apparently that doesn't fill like that, which you could probably weld that shut and then have that ball sit on there, but who knows how long until it rubs. And I figured that thing sitting on top of the gasket will be okay. It you know, it's the rubber and it's rounded, so it's not like it's digging into it or anything. So we'll see how it goes. I'll hook everything up real quick and then jack the cab down, and we'll get in there. We'll climb in there and hopefully it'll work. I mean, it's a temporary fix, but it's about the only thing I can think of, because I would have to basically go back and get this section from him. And he was really short with me, and he didn't really seem very interested in letting me, you know, look around, do too much, see what all was on the trucks that were out there. It was just like, oh, that's what you want? Okay, let's go. Which was kind of shitty, but I mean, that's what it is. It's business, so I understand. He said something about, I told him, I said, yeah, I got the tools. I'll just pull it off myself if it ain't no big deal. And he's like, my insurance won't let me. So apparently something happened back there, and he don't want people going through shit. So, or, you know, I would have had some footage and I showed you some stuff and where it was at. But yeah, he's got about 3 or 4 K100s back there, couple E's, couple C's. I don't know. There was a Ford, there was some Internationals. I just didn't get a chance really to look too much either. I mean, my head was on a swivel, but at the same time I can only do so much. So I'm gonna hook this up and we'll see what happens. Well, it's running in the bags, or the cabs dropped, the bags are up. Still got to put that on, but I want to get in here and fuck around real quick and see, make sure she goes in gear. The air pressure still ain't no. Figured it'd be close because those bags lifted up. Okay, yeah, it's about time. Let's turn on the music, roll down the window, check myself for grease, so I should be good. Put those in. same as the first. Bam. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's actually stiffer now. 4. I don't have quite the slop I had in it before because I do believe that spring is tighter than what it was before. So I just went through the first 4 gears and I don't know the thing. It seemed to be okay. First gear, second gear, third gear. Oh, I mean, it's a lot tighter than what it was fourth gear. Wow, that's what's up. And then reverse over to the side, over to the seat basically. Now I could probably spin that shaft back there that I have because I could. And I could make it to where it would go over that way just a little bit more. We'll see what happens. I can do that on the road anytime. It's not a big deal. So I'm just glad that we're back and everything's okay. I will park this thing back here where it was, right back in its spot, find its spot. And, yeah, bam. There's nothing over there. This thing used to be so sloppy it wasn't even funny. Don't want to take off in third. That's what's up. Wow, these are a lot tighter now. Probably because it was about to freaking blow out and stuff, and it was hanging down. So, yeah, I'll need to put my cushion, my foam back in here and sex that up so I don't have that wind gap and whatnot. But other than that, we should be ready to rock. Hopefully that'll hold. I know what I can do in the future. I've got brought a couple little L-shaped brackets from Menards, and I was going to do that with a hose clamp because I couldn't figure out what else to do. Bought a bung to stick in there. It was too big, it wouldn't work. Pushed the shifter up too high, couldn't get it to go side to side, and then I found that in the garage, that piece. So I was lucky to find that. But in the worst case scenario, if something happens, I'll figure it out. I just don't want to put anything down. Now I probably could have put like a washer. I would have to cut something to get it around that thing. That's the only problem. I wanted to buy a spring. And I wanted to put something down, and then I wanted to put some L-shaped brackets on top of it. That way it'd hold that down and hold it up. But I found that instead. I couldn't find a spring that was good enough for coil spring or big enough for it to go over that ball. And then I find that out in the garage, so it worked. So that's what's up, man. To find a load or something tomorrow, if you know what I mean. You know me, I got shit all over my face. Probably take a shower too before I go to bed. Well, I just took this thing for a ride down the road here, and I wanted to see how it would go into gear and stuff. It's way more tighter than this thing has ever been since I've owned it. So who knows how long that stuff was out of whack, if you will. But like the shifting, it's like boom, 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 boom. There's not a whole lot of room for anything. So I'm gonna run it back to the house because I just pulled up to the fire station where I always come, you know what I mean? When I come down here and do my loop and drive downs, turnarounds after I do shit. But yeah, the H pattern is super close. You always see me used to like look for that stuff and search for it, but I mean it would go into gear smooth and whatnot, but that's just insanity. Boom, it's that close. There's no slop whatsoever in that thing. Literally like driving a manual car. It's amazing. I do want to slide it over that way a little bit because when I go into fourth or ninth, whatever, eighth, yeah, they're kind of close. I want the shifter over here some. I like to have it over here when I put my arm down, but other than that, it's not bad at all. So that's what I'm talking about. smartest way or thing to do, but at the same time, what else am I gonna do? You know, I'm not gonna buy a whole shifter housing when all I gotta do is keep that thing up. It just needs to stay up. If I can keep it up, I'll be fine. So if something goes wrong and it drops back down, I'll know that my stuff has failed. Where that bracket piece came from, I don't have the slightest clue. I mean, I was just digging around. I was actually looking for a file when I found it. I was looking for a file because I was getting ready to shave down some of the L-shaped brackets to make them smooth, because I was going to put them on the ends and do the same thing with the hose clamps and hold that down on the bottom, but it was going to end up pressing into the rubber. But I didn't need to, because I found that and I thought, I'll try this out, and well, it just happened to work. Thing slowed down, man. Oh my God. Yeah, it's decent. I'll slide it over, run it down the road maybe tomorrow. Honestly, I need to find a load, so I'll probably try to find a load. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to work on Frank for a while because I got to go work and make some money. So I can be able to work on Frank. But other than that, it's good. Oh. Whoa! Like it. Love it. Want some more of it. Macgyver shit. I don't even care. I don't care. I'll Macgyver it if I have to. Whatever keeps these old trucks running, they just don't make the parts, man. They just don't make the parts for them, so. So nice. So nice. Oh, shoot, I forgot. I do need to grease that whole section down there that I had off. Shoot some grease in that thing, man. You're all slip and slide, if you know what I mean. But I can do that tomorrow. I don't necessarily need to jack the cab up to do that. I can just slide under there because I'm skinny enough to slide to the tire and whatnot. So that's what I'll do. That's exactly what I'll do. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. I love it. All right. Like, share, subscribe, comment, say what you want to. You know, we really don't care. We're going to keep doing what we need to do and doing our thing. Until then, you know what we say. We will see you. If you don't like it, go truck yourself.